less than 1 mile from the famous nest of Jackie and Shadow. 63 acres of untouched shoreline may soon determine the future of one of America's most beloved bald eagle families. For more than 25 years, this quiet stretch of forest, known as Moon Camp, has been at the center of one of Big Bear's most controversial land battles. Developers envision luxury homes, a marina, a new lakeside community. Conservationists see something entirely different: critical eagle habitat, ancient forest, rare plant species, and one of the last undeveloped sections of Big Bear's North Shore. Now, a race against time has begun. A nonprofit says it has just 6 months to raise $10 million to purchase the land before development can move forward. If they fail, they warn that the landscape surrounding Jackie and Shadow could change forever. This is Time Scape news. Most viewers know Jackie and Shadow from a single nest, but that nest is only one small piece of their world. Bald eagles don't simply need a nesting tree. They require an entire ecosystem: places to hunt, places to perch, quiet shoreline, large mature trees, open approaches for flight. Moon Camp provides many of those features. Located along Big Bear's North Shore, the nearly 63-acre property sits directly adjacent to United States Forest Service land. For decades, it has remained largely undeveloped. But according to Friends of Big Bear Valley, that could soon change. Plans approved by San Bernardino County include a luxury residential development and marina on the Moon Camp property. Supporters argue the project represents economic growth and private property development. Opponents argue it comes at an environmental cost. According to Friends of Big Bear Valley, wildlife experts have testified over the years that development in this location could have what they describe as a significant detrimental impact on the resident bald eagles. The organization also says the area supports endangered plant species and habitat used by other native wildlife, including the San Bernardino flying squirrel. Whether those impacts can be adequately mitigated has remained at the center of public debate for decades. After years of legal disputes and public opposition, something unexpected happened. The developer agreed to provide the San Bernardino Mountains Land Trust with a limited opportunity to purchase the property outright. Instead of construction, the land could become permanently protected open space. But there's a catch. The option expires on July 31st, 2026. To make it happen, the Land Trust must raise $10 million. Friends of Big Bear Valley is coordinating the public fundraising campaign through SaveMoonCamp.org, while the San Bernardino Mountains Land Trust would acquire and permanently conserve the property. Conservation groups describe opportunities like this as extraordinarily rare. Once land is developed, it's almost never returned to functioning natural habitat. This campaign also carries a deeply personal story. Just days before the public announcement, Friends of Big Bear Valley Executive Director Sandy Steers passed away. Before her death on February 11th, Steers had helped negotiate the agreement that made the conservation purchase possible. According to the organization, protecting Moon Camp had become one of her highest priorities. Her final public message was both hopeful and urgent. We need everyone to become Jackie and Shadow's hero. Today, the campaign continues in her honor. Why fight so hard over one parcel of land? Because wildlife doesn't recognize property lines. Jackie and Shadow may nest in one tree, but they depend on a much larger landscape. Adult bald eagles regularly travel throughout their territory while hunting. Quiet shoreline provides opportunities to locate fish. Large trees offer resting locations. Undisturbed habitat reduces repeated human disturbance during the breeding season. As development expands, those opportunities become increasingly fragmented. Scientists have long emphasized that protecting nesting habitat alone isn't enough. The surrounding ecosystem matters just as much. Last September, according to Friends of Big Bear Valley, more than 5,000 public comments and emails were submitted to the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors opposing the project before approvals moved forward. The issue has become one of the most closely watched conservation debates in Big Bear. Supporters of preservation argue this isn't simply about protecting one eagle pair. Big Bear Valley ranks among California's most biologically significant mountain ecosystems. Saving habitat today, they argue, protects generations of wildlife tomorrow. That is the question hanging over Moon Camp. If the funding goal is reached, the property could become permanently protected under conservation ownership. If it is not, the purchase option expires. At that point, the previously approved development could move forward unless circumstances change. Exactly what the finished project would ultimately look like, and what long-term effects it would have on wildlife, would continue to be evaluated through regulatory and environmental oversight. But conservation groups argue that once mature habitat is converted to residential use, the landscape is fundamentally altered. For millions watching around the world, Jackie and Shadow symbolized resilience. They survived storms, wildfire smoke, harsh winters, years of uncertainty. Now, their story has become intertwined with another battle, not against nature, but over the future of the land surrounding their home. Whether Moon Camp remains forest or becomes a neighborhood may depend on what happens before July 31st. For Friends of Big Bear Valley and the San Bernardino Mountains Land Trust, the countdown has already begun. And for Jackie and Shadow, the camera may only show the nest, but the future of their world extends far beyond its branches.